This is Karam Jivani with Coldwell Banker in Irvine, California, and I'm here with Mary Gwak, who is in title industry for the last 20 years. She is the Vice President of Lawyers Title currently, and she'll be speaking on a very important topic, which is title fraud. Mary, it's all yours.
Thank you so much, Karam. Good day, everyone. Thank you for letting me be here to talk to you about something that I'm very, very passionate about. As a title industry professional, some of the things that we see that's the most heartbreaking, I think, is when we see consumers who are victims of title fraud. So people ask, what is title fraud? How do you get defrauded and how do you prevent it? I wanted to kind of give you some high-level information so that you can be on the lookout and make sure that you're not a victim to some of these perpetrators. The most common ways that someone could be defrauded with title is, first and foremost, is when someone takes the ownership of the property from out and under you. So essentially, I own a property and I have a deed in my name. Something that a lot of people don't realize is having a deed in your name, it's not really like an automobile pink slip. It's done all electronically and it is public record. So when you fall into the hands of the bad guys, if you will, what happens is they get your information about you and your property. And then they go and fraudulently prepare a new deed that looks to be like you are giving the property to someone else. And that someone else is usually the fraudsters or the scam artist. They are, in essence, fraudulently signing your name. So somebody would take my deed, they would see what my legal name was, and create a new deed that says, I, Mary Gwak, am giving or selling you, John Smith, this property. And indeed, it's not Mary Gwak who signed it. And people will ask me, well, how does that take place in a day and age like now and in the United States? It's actually very scary, but it happens quite frequently. Because the information is public, they have all the vitals that they need, and it would be very, very easy for someone to come out and be able to purchase a fake ID and go and find a notary who looks at that ID and it matches the person standing there. That's the only means of identification. Once they get that document notarized, they're able to take that to the county recorder's office, and the county will then turn around and record that. And that, in essence, means the property was taken out of your name and placed into someone else's name. Believe it or not, our government officials, the county recorders, don't have any sort of a method to actually authenticate whether or not it was really Mary Gwak that signed the deed over. So they'll simply just record it. On a recent transaction that I was a part of, we were able to see that it was actually the second leg of fraud, and it was that exact scenario. Somebody owned a home, true owner never signed it over to the current person, but the current person fraudulently recorded that deed, and then they turned around to go and sell it. So that's one of the most common ways, is when people essentially take the property out of your name and try to second-hand sell it in the open market. The other form of title fraud that we see, and this one's actually very common too, is when somebody puts the property in their name, but it's not necessarily in a means to just completely sell the property. They actually will take a property that's free and clear of any loans, get it into their names, and then go to a lender. And oftentimes, these lenders are not mainstream lenders that you and I may be familiar with. It could be a lender like it's not like a Bank of America or a Chase or a Wells Fargo. They're typically going to secondary lenders, which we in the industry call hard money lenders. So they'll go to a hard money lender and say, hey, I'm Mary Gwak. I own this property. I purchased it all cash, and I now would like to take some money out of it because I want to invest in something else. So they'll go to this lender and they'll get an appraisal. The property appraises at $1 million, and they'll say, oh, I only need $300,000. So the lender will then turn around and give them $300,000. So now the property is not only not in your name, but it's also has a loan on it that needs to be paid off. So those are two of the most common, frequent ways that we see title fraud taking place. I would say that one of the best ways to make sure that you're not a victim to it is, one of the things that I always tell people is it's not always good to have no loans on your property, because the fraudsters go after homes that have no loans most frequently. And then the secondary way would be to make sure that you are looking at your title. And that's going to be another topic that we'll cover on another day, but looking at your title becomes vital in making sure that something has not happened to your home that you weren't aware of. If you ever have any questions on this or any other real estate topics, please feel free to call my friend Karam Jivani at Coldwell Banker Platinum, and he could be reached at 949-338-5583. Thank you so much. Have a great day.